The difference between arrogance and consequence is often measured in seconds. For Ethan Cross, the clock started ticking the moment he walked into Harley's Steakhouse. 38 years old, CEO of a tech company, and worth more money than he'd ever worked for. Ethan carried the kind of toxic self-regard that made him mistake privilege for power. He saw the world and the people in it as something either to be bought or ignored. He was about to learn that some things, like the leather patch on a biker's back, were neither. The afternoon sun slanted through the wide windows of Harley's Steakhouse, casting amber light across the worn wooden tables and red vinyl booths. The lunch rush was in full swing. The air hung thick with the smell of charred beef and black pepper, mixing with the distant strains of Leonard Skinner from a jukebox. In the back corner booth, four men sat in comfortable silence. They wore black leather cuts, vests adorned with patches that told stories in thread and ink. The centerpiece was a snarling jackal's head surrounded by flames. Iron Jackal's MC. These weren't costume pieces bought online. They were earned, bled for, and wore with a kind of quiet pride that needed no announcement. Cole, Ironjaw, Maddox sat facing the door, old habits from old roads. At 47, he was a massive man whose face was weathered by sun, wind, and years of hard riding. He ate his steak methodically, speaking nothing. The other three, Tank, Crow, and Preacher, ate with similar, efficient quiet. Maya, the waitress, approached with a coffee pot. "You boys need anything else?" she asked. Cole gave her a small nod. "We're good, darling." "Thank you." The piece lasted exactly 4 minutes. The door swung open hard enough to rattle the bell, and Ethan Cross strutted in with his two colleagues. Ethan wore a suit that likely cost more than the Iron Jackal's combined motorcycles, and his voice carried across the restaurant without effort or care. "I'm telling you," Ethan boasted loudly, "the Austin deal is practically done. Another 8 figures in our pocket by Q2. We'll be buying out competitors like goddamn Pokemon cards." They passed the counter, past a family with 2 kids, and then they passed the back corner booth. Ethan's eyes landed on the Iron Jackals. His expression shifted, not fear, but something far uglier. Contempt, amusement, the look of a man who concluded these men were irrelevant because they didn't have a stock portfolio. "Jesus," he muttered to his colleagues, just loud enough. "Didn't know we were dining with the cast of Sons of Anarchy." Cole's fork paused halfway to his mouth. His eyes tracked Ethan without turning his head. Tank's jaw tightened. They kept eating. Ethan and his group settled near the window and resumed their loud conversation. Every few minutes, Ethan's gaze drifted back to the bikers, and his smirk deepened. Cole finished his steak, pushed his plate aside, and leaned back in the booth. Then Ethan stood up. "Bathroom," he announced, straightening his jacket with a sharp tug. He walked past the bar, past the jukebox, and then directly past the Iron Jackal's booth. Cole saw it coming a half second before it happened. The way Ethan slowed, the way his expression shifted, the way his chest puffed out like a rooster. Ethan stopped beside the booth, looked down at Cole's back where the patch sat, and then he did the unthinkable. He leaned forward, pursed his lips, and spat. The glob of saliva hit the patch dead center, right over the jackal's snarling mouth, and began to slide slowly down the black leather. The restaurant went utterly silent. It was a kind of silence that presses against eardrums, stopping breath. Every eye in Harley's Steakhouse turned to that back corner booth. Ethan straightened, smirking, and continued toward the bathroom like he'd just won a minor victory. Cole sat perfectly still. He simply stopped moving entirely. Tank's eyes went wide. Preacher removed his reading glasses slowly and set them down. Maya, frozen near the counter, felt her stomach drop. "Oh, God," she thought. The price is about to be paid. Cole's head tilted down. He stared at his empty plate for 3 long seconds. Then he moved. It wasn't fast, and it wasn't violent. It was controlled, the kind of movement that spoke of discipline earned through years of knowing exactly what his body could do. He slid out of the booth and stood to his full, imposing height. He reached back with one hand, felt the wetness on his patch, and looked at his fingers. Then he turned toward the bathroom. The door was still swinging shut when Cole reached it. He didn't knock. He pushed it open and stepped inside. Ethan stood at the urinal, zipping up fast. He glanced over his shoulder. The smug smile died instantly. "Bathroom's occupied, pal," Ethan said, voice tight with forced authority. Cole said nothing. He simply stood there, filling the doorway. His expression was blank. Not angry, just empty. "Look, I don't know what you think. You spit on my patch." Cole's voice was low, quiet, barely above a whisper. "It's just a jacket, man." "It's not a jacket." Cole took one step forward. The small bathroom suddenly felt airless. "It's a symbol. It's brotherhood. It's respect earned through blood and road, and years you can't buy with your money." Ethan's back hit the wall. His hands came up in a universal gesture of de-escalation. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have." "You're not sorry yet." Cole stopped a foot away. "But you will be." Outside, the restaurant was a tableau of held breath. The bathroom door opened. Cole emerged first, walking with the same measured calm. Behind him, Ethan stumbled out, face pale, eyes wide, looking like a man who just stared into an abyss. In Cole's hand was a small white towel from the bathroom dispenser. Cole walked back to his booth. Ethan followed, not by choice, but by the inexorable gravity of a man who'd learned, in the span of 2 minutes, that his money couldn't deflect every force. Cole stopped at the booth, turned, looked at Ethan. "Clean it," he said simply, holding out the towel. "What?" "My patch. You disrespected it. You clean it." The restaurant watched, every person frozen, witnessing the stripping away of false power. Ethan's colleague shifted nervously. I can't." Ethan's voice cracked. "You can." Cole's tone didn't change. "Or I carry you outside and we settle this the old way. Your choice. But you're paying your debt one way or another." Ethan looked around at the faces staring at him. At Tank, whose stillness promised violence. At Preacher, who nodded once, slowly, like a judge. And then Ethan's knees bent. He took the towel with shaking hands. Reached out toward Cole's back. Gently, Cole said, "Like it matters." "Because it does." Ethan began to wipe. Humiliated, he cleaned what he had defiled. The silence in the restaurant was absolute. It took 30 agonizing seconds. When the patch was clean, Cole nodded. "Now apologize," Cole said. "Not to me. To every person in this restaurant who had to watch your arrogance poison their lunch." Ethan turned, face blotchy with shame. I'm sorry," he mumbled, hoarse. I'm sorry." Cole let the silence hang for a beat. He pulled out 2 20s, setting them on the table for a generous tip. He looked at Maya. "Sorry you had to see that, darling." Then Cole looked at Ethan one last time. Respect isn't bought. It's earned. And once you lose it, it's damn near impossible to get back. Remember that the next time you think your money makes you bulletproof. He turned to his brothers. "Let's ride." The Iron Jackals stood in unison. They filed past Ethan, treating him exactly as what he revealed himself to be, insignificant. The 4 bikers walked out, swung onto their motorcycles, kicked them to life, and the rumble of 4 engines filled the parking lot like rolling thunder. Inside, the restaurant slowly came back to life. Conversations resumed. The jukebox kicked back in. Ethan, still holding the damp towel, stood paralyzed until his colleagues finally ushered him out. 2 days later, a video appeared online. Someone had filmed the confrontation on their phone. It showed Ethan spitting on the patch, showed Cole's terrifying calm, showed Ethan on his knees cleaning what he defiled. Within 48 hours, it had 3 million views. Within a week, Apex Innovation's board called an emergency meeting. The company's image, sleek, progressive, respectful, had been shattered by 30 seconds of footage showing their CEO's moral bankruptcy in public. Ethan resigned. He took a leave of absence from his company. 3 months later, Cole sat in the same booth. Maya approached with the coffee pot. "You see what happened to that guy?" "The CEO?" she asked. Cole cut a piece of steak, chewed, swallowed. "Heard something about it. He resigned. Word is he's in therapy now. Soul searching." Cole nodded slowly. "Good. Do you think he learned?" Maya asked quietly. Cole looked up at her, his gray eyes steady and unreadable. Don't know. Don't much care. Some men learn. Some men just learn to hide better. He paused. But either way, he paid his price. Outside, the world spun on money and power. But men like Ethan Cross learned, slowly, painfully, that there were still things that couldn't be bought. Respect, honor, and the knowledge that some debts, once incurred, are paid in ways money can never touch. The jukebox played on.